Hello, hello, hello! Welcome back. And today we're going to be going over an auto lip sync rig setup. Okay, so quickly I'm going to show you what you can do with this rig. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Beans. He's a very good boy. He's got a nub tail, and he has something he wants to tell you. So, Mr. Beans' mouth was rigged using the auto rig setup. Now, there are two ways to do this. A much simpler way is to use a shape key to control the mouth opening and closing, and just use the sound to directly drive the shape key. But this rigged version, I guess, works if you well, first of all, if you have the mouth physically rigged to open and close and don't have any shape keys, then this is what you're going to want to do. So, ignoring all these spaces, I have explained before, but my little recordy thing is right here, so I can't actually click anything here, so I put a bunch of space collections to move the collections I need to access down. So, yeah, here's our friend. Here's Mr. Bean's twin. I guess we'll call them Mr. Beansies. Although I guess technically if they're twins, their last name would both be Beans, so they'd both be Mr. Beans. But yeah. So, quick note. What you do if you want to hear audio in your playback is that you need to put the audio in the video editor. So that way when you play your animation, the audio's here, because we're importing the audio data to control the shape key, but the audio isn't there unless you put it here. So I'm just gonna use H to hide that for now. So Mr. Beans doesn't scream at us the whole time. We're gonna move on to Mr. Beansies. Mr. Beans 2. So I currently have it set up so you can only see the two main bones we're gonna need. These are really the only ones we're gonna be working with for the auto rig. But I will show you the other ones. So I'm actually going to go to delete it. I'm just going to delete it so we can see, and I'm going to hide Mr. Bean's, hold on, why is everything big? Once I move the sun out of his folder. Okay. So this is my mouth bone. It's green because I already have some of these controls on it, so that is why, but I'm just going to disable them real quick so you can see. So basically, Mr. Beansy's mouth is just a circle that can be controlled, and that doesn't look good. Really, all we want for him to do is be able to open and close his mouth just a little bit. We just needed to open a little bit. Just a little bit, like that. So what we first need to add is a limit rotation. Now, your limit rotation is going to be different than mine, most likely. I have mine limited a lot because I couldn't figure out where to put how to place the bone so that it'd slide perfectly along the surface. That's something you want to do, I think, figure out during the creation of your bean cat. I added this later, so that's why it doesn't flow perfectly on the surface. I could use a shrink wrap, but that has a chance to distort weird. So I limited the rotation, so I will no longer be able to rotate it on these other axes, just the x-axis. I also have it set to local space, so I guess it's more based on where it is in the pose space than where it is in the world. So once you set that up, what you should have is just open and close. That should be the only thing you're able to do. This, and anything in between works. The in-between is good, fine. Because that helps, is like, if you have a quiet meow, he might only open his mouth this much. As well, if he's full on screaming, he'll be fully open. Okay. After that, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm moving my hand to explain it, and you can't see my hand, and I don't know why. I've never done this before. I had a pre-recording of this where I went through the whole thing, and then I realized the meowing was too loud and you couldn't hear me talking over it. Which, when I was recording, it was fine. I didn't notice, but I guess the computer picked up the audio much better, and then it was just a disaster. So, yeah, usually these videos are like 2 minimum takes. I don't think I've ever had one that was perfect the first run. They're usually like take 8 or 10, but usually the fails are only like a minute in, so it's not too bad. But that one was a full take, and I was sad that the cat meow was too loud. The only time where it's okay that it's bad that a cat meow is too loud. Okay, back on topic. Okay, I am easily distracted. Okay, so what next you're going to need is a track 2. And this is empty because I just deleted the bone, it's track 2. But what this is going to track to our mouth target bone. And our mouth target bone is what's going to be moving, going to be controlled with the sound data. So basically, it's going to be moving up and down in the z-axis, and this guy's going to follow it. So real quick, we're going to need to make that target bone again. So let's go to modeling. Here's the full rig. And what I'm going to do is, this is the mouth bone, and I'm just going to duplicate it. Hold up, let me do it. Duplicate it, and then drag it out. I'm going to shrink it a bit. And I'm going to name it mouth target. And right now it is parented to the head, which is fine. You don't technically have to parent it to anything, but I would say parent it to the head just to keep things simple. Because we don't want it to be like over here. That would just be weird. Because it's trying to track to it, but it can't turn, so it'll just be a hot mess. Okay, there we go. So yes, there. So now we can go back to our pose mode, and we'll have to clear the controls because we duplicated this one. We'll just set it to target, and what we're gonna want is if you have this issue, let's see, okay, yeah. So what I had was, I first had this issue where it was doing the opposite, and if that happens, what fixed it was hitting target Z. And this one you can keep in world space, it's fine. But yeah, as you can see, as I move this up and down, it does the thing. And I can move it anywhere and do it, but you gotta remember that if it's up here, if it's above the mouth bone, it's going to be in the closed. If it's below the mouth bone, it's going to be in the open, no matter how much you shake it up and down. Boop, boop, boop. So you're going to want to keep it like level with it for the most part. So yes, now it is time to add our sound. So if we go ahead and open up the graph editor, I'm going to hit I and insert a keyframe for location for this bone. We're not actually going to be putting any keyframes on this bone. This one just follows. It's following this one, and we want it to follow this one, and we don't want it to go do its own thing. So I'm just going to hide X and Y locations, because those, we don't need to do anything. I'm just going to move this, I'm gonna move this to 0, and I'm going to go to channels. Now, in older versions of Blender, this used to be called Bake Sound to F Curve, something like that. But it seems they have changed it Sound to Samples. So, go to Sound to Samples, find your sound recordings, your meow meow, and there we go. That's it. That's the base. If we go back, if I enable my sound, just so you can hear it. There he goes. He's a meowing. He's a meowing. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. The meow is a pretty good sound. He has a little like jitters. If you don't like these jitters, there's a way you can clean it up. So, you go back to channel and you take your sample to keys. So this will basically unbake the curve and you will be able to edit it. Now what you want to do for this is to just delete all of these little points, like this. like this. Take that one. We'll delete you'll really only be left with like 5 points at the end of this process. So I'm just going ahead and deleting these lower ones before coming and deleting these higher ones. And I will probably just delete all of these. And delete this. There's a lot of spikes, but we really only need a couple of spikes, so we can delete it. Just delete everything. You gotta be careful how much you delete though, because depending on your sound, it might make it look weird. But I'm just kind of going through it loosely, not paying too much attention to the sound bumps and curves. I'm just really trying to simplify it. But this is what you do to clean it up. Of course, you would want to be more careful, as I said, depending on the... You want to keep the most of the highs and the lows, and like the little jitters. And then what you want to do is, you know what, just pull that one down. There you go. Fine. Grab the bottom ones, and I do SY0 to just flatten them, and make sure they line up on 0. And here you go. There's not really any more jitters. Yeah. So I'm going to... It looks a little weird there, but yeah, I'm going to, so yeah, you want to be more careful when you have a session like this where they're like rapidly next to each other. But I'm going to quickly show you how to do it with like a shape key, what you do if you had a shape key. But before I do that, I'm going to take these, move this to 10, GX, move this down, pull back our friend, go to video editing, duplicate, pull this to 10, and there we go! The twins are singing their song. Oh, okay. Back on topic. So I'm just gonna go to object mode. I'm gonna add a, on my other recording I did a Suzanne that was actually kind of terrifying. So I'm just gonna do like a circle. Gonna just make that a 16. Okay, RX90. E. Turn off the proportional editing. E. And I'm gonna do E. Squash it there. And then I'm going to add the shape keys. Burp, burp. Go in and model the other shape key. So I'm just gonna make that one like closed. Yeah, it's closed. Closed enough. Is it closed enough? Bad puns, bad puns. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is basically the same thing. I'm going to go over to this key, the driver, insert keyframe, and then import the sound sample. Import the sound sample. And then what I'm going to do is bake the key, sample to keys, so unbake. And main reason I'm doing this is to clean it up again, but also you may notice that the basis is the open mouth. So what you want to do for that is go to SY -1, and you're flipping it. So it's going to be closed now more often than not. But you'll also notice that it's not quite big enough. So basically, it worked for this, but sometimes you have to like expand them to get it to fit. So what I'm gonna do quick is just delete all of those, delete, delete, delete. I'm gonna do SY0. Whoop, no, wrong one. It should be SY0. I must have hit X. So, and then G, Y, and bring those down. I'm gonna want these to be 0, and I'm gonna want these to be at 1. And that way it goes goes over the full extent. And as I said, be careful how you clean it up, because you might delete some vital keyframes and it might make it look weird. Mainly for cleaning up, you want to get rid of all these extra ones, because they don't really do anything and they just kind of clutter everything. Could just be a nitpicky thing. I didn't need to do that. And yeah, that's basically it. So that's how you do it with a driver, and this is how you do it with a rig. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the Mr. Beans twins' great symphony of meows. Have a good day, and I guess do all the things normal YouTube people ask you to do. The comment thing, and the likey thing, and the subscribey thing. Oh well. Have a good day, and bye!